Hello friends, my name is Rian, your tech maestro at Azure DevOps Pulse. Be welcome to each and every one of you, and thank you so much for being part of this journey. We have finally reached 300 plus YouTube family in just less than 2 months. So thank you so much. And as we all know, in our last sessions, we have discussed about Terraform resources such as Terraform basic language, then Terraform syntax, resource syntax, resource behavior, and the Terraform state. All right. So in today's video, what we are going to do is that we are going to see how we can create storage account from scratch using Terraform. In our session, last session also we have shown, but then we have created a resource group, resource group, then storage account, then virtual machines as well. But did not discuss in details. But in today's video, let's say you are as a completely beginner, right? You're learning Terraform right now, and you think means what all need to be in place, right? So all the prerequisites that I'm going to cover in today's video. All right. So let's get started. So this is some of the prerequisites team. You can just take a look once. Subscription as your CLI, then Terraform need to be installed, then Visual Studio you can install in this case, and all this. Okay. So what I'm going to do is that I'm gonna show you first how we can, let's say, if you don't have let's say if you don't have the resources in place, let's say right now I don't have anything. I want to, let's say I want to create completely fresh. I want to create a storage account in Azure using Terraform, and I have no clue. So, what is the best way I can learn or I can create? So, in today's video, I'm gonna cover. All right. So, let's get started, team. So, what I'll do first thing, go with the prerequisites. The first one is subscription. You need to have your subscription so that you can deploy your infrastructure or any resources. Okay. So in my case, we had a subscription. And second is your Azure CLI or PowerShell. In my case, I have the PowerShell and CLI both. So you can use one of them. So in my case, I'm using Azure CLI, and Terraform need to be installed. And you can also install the like a text editor, like a IDE. Like it's in my case, I can install. I have installed Visual Studio Code. This is the Visual Studio Code. Okay. And once we have gone the first, second, third, fourth, and the fifth, if you see here, that is storage account as your storage account provider configuration, right? What we basically need to have the provider configurations. How can I do that one? So in the first three, so four, you are clear now. Okay, you have everything in place. That need to be first four is compulsory. You need to keep in mind always. You have to this first four need to be in place. Okay, then rest you can think of. And the second point. Okay, so what it'll do, the fifth, that is your uh, configuration provider configuration. How can I get this one? Let me show you. I will go directly to the documents. I can directly search, I just show you freshly so that you don't get confused. I will just show you from fresh. You just simply go to your browser and type Terraform providers. As soon as you type providers, the first link you can see, right? Browse providers. You click here. So as we all know, we are basically be deploying all our resources in Azure provider. That is why I'm gonna choose Azure. Let's say in your case, if you are using a GCP or AWS or any other, you can choose that. But in my case, I am actually be working with Azure. So in my case, I am selecting Azure as my provider. Once I click my provider, I can see the provider version details. That is latest, okay, and keep changing also this one. So for now, you ignore this one, okay. And if you see here, there are three tabs you get to see here. First, the overview. This is overview. And documentation is something where, let's say, if you want to create any kind of resources in what you call Azure provider using Terraform, So all the documents are in place for you. You can whatever you need, you can use it. But in my case, my main motto is to get a provider. What I do, there is an option called as use provider. Click there, use provider. Okay, I can just copy this provider. Just to keep in mind, team, if it is anything, the provider is more than 0.13 plus, the provider is available. Before the before older version will not have the providers. Okay, in my case, we are having the provider basically. So I'm just what I'll do simply I'll copy it. I'll copy. If you see I have nothing, so I'll just give some file name. In my case, that is my provider, so I'll give it as provider. Dot the dot tf it should be a tf, nothing but Terraform. Okay, extension need to give dot tf state. I mean dot tf extension. Then copy and then paste it. So we are clear now. What I'll do now inside here. Now I need to mention this Terraform. What you call this? Let me show you Terraform version. Okay, now Terraform version I good now. So this is the actually Terraform the CLI version. Okay, so this is Terraform version basically in simple. Okay, in simple term I can call it. Okay, so what is but this is a provider. Provider and a Terraform version has a two different meaning. So don't confuse. This is the provider version and the one what I showed you Terraform version. Okay, so okay this is clear. Now what I'll do now in my case I will keep it as let me see. I mentioned that this Terraform, this is what I just type here. You can see mention record version. That meaning you can, this is of your this one. So you can give this one or you can give a latest version. So what I mentioned, if you see here, provider is mentioned. What is that? I think I okay. If you just notice here, I can give this one also 13 plus. So I can copy this one also, or I can this thing, or I can use this one also. Depends on your request, or I can use the latest one. What I'll do, I will just anything. Okay. Greater than, okay, sorry, is equal to, greater than is equal to 0 to 13, let's say. I am giving, okay. So now we got how we can, now it's very easy, right? So now you're clear now how I can get the providers. I simply need to go to browser and search with this one and copy paste this one. This is one of the way, okay. And once we go this one, you don't have to remember this one. That's the format it works, okay. This one and the providers, if you want to have some kind of meta arguments, basically to change the behavior of your Terraform, depends on your use cases, you can change it. But in my case, I don't want anything. What I'll do is I'll just have this feature block. Okay, just then copy in there. Okay, this is the actual format. Okay, so you get this done. Now I can save also, or I can save it for now, or you can leave it as it is. Anyway, we are going to save later. Okay, so right now you are cleared how to. So now you are clear with the first point. That is your this one provider configuration. Now you are in place. Now it's what is saying include in provide in sorry include the Azure provider in your Terraform file. That one in your case I have already done. I'm sorry, in my case I have already done it. Okay. Now you are good. Second part, I mean not second. I think now is your okay resource group. Resource group basically this is on a creation or depends on your use case. You don't have to this resource group need to be in place, but you can, if you want, depends on your use case again. At the time of creation of a storage account also you can create, or before that also you can create. So this is again a, you can say a kind of it requires, but then you don't have to create in place first. Okay, you can create later also. Later in the sense during this process, that is the storage account creations time. Okay. So what I do now, so I don't want this one to create now. I will create at the time of this storage account creations. Okay. So what I need is seven number, that is storage account configuration. Define storage account settings in Terraform, meaning Now I need to get a storage account configuration. Now, if I don't know anything, let's say I'm the first time, I have no clue. Now you understand now. First thing, what I did was provider details I mentioned, then in my case the provider also setting Terraform setting block everything. Basically, I have defined everything. Okay, so these two are clear now. The third is your my configuration. That is my storage configuration. How can I get it? Let me show you. Let's say I have no clue. You simply, whenever you want to create any resources, if you have no clue how to create, let's say storage account, what I'll do is I simply go create Azure RM is your provider name underscore, then type of the resource name, resource type. In my case, storage account is my resource type, right? So I'll just type storage underscore account. Okay. As soon as I click the Azure RM is a provider name, and then this is your storage type. Okay. Once you type, you will get to, this will take you directly to your Terraform documentations. Click there for the first link. On the first link, once you click, this will take you something like that. You can see. Okay, what you do, let's say you have no clue how to create. That's what I mentioned. At the time of storage account creation, also you can create. This is storage account, right? Sorry, resource group. So the seven number actually, sorry, I think not seven number. Six number. You don't have to. This is again a kind of optional you can think, but this is required at the time of storage account creations. Okay, so you can create in place in before also or later also. At the time of storage creation also you can use it. Create. I mean. Okay. All right. Now what we do? We are talking about the this one storage account configuration file. So right now what I'll do is I will see whenever I create what I come here, then I can see here these are the information. This is for the example. I can copy this one, or if you want example with the network role, if you want to have the in advanced configuration in your storage account, yes, it is possible. You can use this for template. Okay. But let's say in my case, I'm just giving an example only. So I'll copy this one. Copy. I'll just under this same directory, I'll mention as the main.tf. The file you can give any name actually. In my case, I'll just give main.tf. Okay, so there I'll copy. So now what it is going to do, it is going to create storage account as well as a storage account. It is going to create the resource group. I mean, okay. And in the second, it will also create a resource. I mean, storage account. So what we can do now is that this is one of the way we can do. In my case, what I'll do, this is my, let's say I want to create, okay, just showing one. Now let's say this is one of the way, what I can do, I can simply change my RG, sorry, my RG 10, let's say if I give something DevOps RG 10, let's say, and the location, let it be as it is, okay. And storage account name is you can give any local, this is your local name, storage 01 or 10, whatever name, whatever storage account name you can give. In my case, storage, just mention Pulse. Whenever I give this storage account name, that should be unique, and you can't have the capital letter. Okay, you need to keep in mind. You can't have this like that. Anything capital letter is not acceptable. Okay, and also this should be unique. If you using this name, this should be unique globally. So that is why what I'll keep it as small letter. Okay, now what I can do. Third is your, I mean, then storage. This is your resource group name, right? In my case, whatever resource group name you want, I can copy this name because I want to use same resource group. So my Azure RM resource group, then give the local name of your resource group. This is your local name or resource group, right? I'll copy here. That means whenever I create resources, I mean storage account, this name will be used. Then dot name. Dot name, how you got? This is for the resource group name. That is why. Okay. Then same thing, location. Now you want to use the same location as your resource group, right? So you just copy this one. My RG. Sorry, my bad. Let me copy. my RG. How the local came, because this is a location value. Okay, this is a location, that is why. And this is keeping as default. Tag also, you can have a multiple tag also if you want. You can have multiple tag, let's say owner, then I can mention the hidden. Okay, but whenever I, this is a string, right? So whenever I create this thing, I need to give a quotation here. And here also normally I can give like this also. This also works fine. But you don't, if you don't, you don't have to define this one. In your case, if you want, you can give or you can ignore it. So in my case, I don't want, so I'll ignore these quotations here. Okay. But in your value, that is your, like this is key and this is value, right? You need to give here. So I hope this is clear, team. Now this is clear. But now what we did was, now we are doing using the um, documentations. Let's say, and also we need to keep one more thing is there. Whenever I want to create any resources, what do you do? There is something known as here, that is your argument reference. So always try to refer the argument reference. The reason why this, if you talk about the storage account, right? So if you see here, argument reference, basically what it does, basically this will help you to identify and understand what kind of information need to be given at the time of creation of your any resources. In my case, storage account. Okay, so whenever I create any storage account, I need to give this information, that is your storage account name and the resource group name and the location. These three is must. If you see here, the bracket is showing as required, right? Same thing, this also required, and the resource group name also required. And if you see the storage account come as that is optional. So meaning if you want, you can give it, but if you don't basically explicitly mention in your configuration, by default it will take as this one. Let's say in your case, if you want to give storage, I mean, account come as storage or maybe file storage, whatever. In your case, then you need to define this also. But if you don't define the ops, that by default this will consider as this storage kind. Okay, account kind. I mean, same thing. Other there's so many things. So this is second depends on your use cases, how complexity you want the storage account to be created. Based on that, you can use this basically the documentations. Okay, in my case, we are as it we just going to understand the fundamental level, so I'm not going to explore everything for now. But yeah, obviously in our maybe in future coming days, we are going to learn everything there as well. Okay, for now you just understand under arguments reference, you just need a name, then resource group name and location. So in your case, you can see here name is there, resource group is there, location is there. This is all optional. If you want, I can give. But in my case, let it be. So let's say now we understood how to write the script using Terraform or modify. You can say like how can I can modify the code using Terraform. I mean from documentations. Okay. Now let's say if I have no clue how I can use it. Let's say what I'll do. I'll just mention as I'll ignore it first. This one. What I'll do. Uh, Same thing I want. Let's say now I want to create whatever is there. Same thing I want to write. There are many ways I can write a Terraform configuration file. Depends on your expertise. Okay. So one way is that using the documentations. As a beginner, you can do this way. Okay, you can learn the like how I explain. Uh, you can take a documents of, I mean, copy this from documentation, the template. The simple one you take and you try. Then modify the code based on what you see here. Okay, and another way, what I can do, I can directly write from your console. That is your basically the Visual Studio. How I can do that? First thing, if I want to create a resources, always whenever you want to create any resource, okay, you first need a block type. It was discussed in our last session also, right? So block type is must. So what is block type now? In our case, it is a resource is a block type. As soon as I type the block type, under block type, I need to have a block level. So what is a block level now? We discussed again in our last sessions, okay? So but here, when I say block level, mean I first how the level works. I first need to provide the provider name. That is, as we all know, Azure RM is our provider name, and then you need to give underscore. And now one side block label, basically it contains your the first block label depends on the block type. Okay, can have a different block label as well. But in our case, we are going to work with the basically the creating the resource group, right? So in our case, type of the resource now, provider name, then type of the resource, basically. Okay, so basically in simple terms, whenever I want to create any resources or resource, I first need to give a uh, what do you call that block type, and then under block type I need to define the, sorry, not block type, yeah, block type. Okay, block type, I like I mentioned, block type I have mentioned here. Then here resource type. Resource type, as we all know, what is resource type now? As we all know, provider name I have defined it. Now I want to define the resource group name, right? So I mean to mention the resource group. Just mention resource group, as you can see here. This is your, okay. So if you see here, this is a provider name, and this is your the block type. So but all together we call as the block level. Okay, we call as block level. And this is also another block level. Local reference name also, this is another block level. Okay, sorry, my bad, it is not a block level. This basically, this is only block level. This is your local name, I mean. Okay, this is your local name, don't be confused. This is local name. Okay, now we are good now. And second, in my case, what I'll do, my RG, I'll just mention my RG. Let's say I said 20, let's say. Now as soon as I click here, what I see here now, let's say let's say for now you can see your name and the location, right? But let's say you are a beginner, you have no clue what kind of information I need to basically get, or I need to be entered here, right? You may something get the doubt like, okay, let's say I want to create storage account, sorry, resource group, but what kind of information need to be provided, or which all information is important, right? So what basically you can do is, there are many ways. One of the ways is that click in your cursor of the two space, right? You just click control and space you do. As soon as you do here, you get to see lot many option that will give a suggestion. Okay, Terraform will give a suggestion from your extension. Okay, this will give a suggestion. In my case, extension name, and then this is a string, right? So I'll just give a quotation and then mention the name of the. This is my RG, my just or RG, my RG 20, or in my case I just mentioned DevOps, whatever name you want. Based on that you can keep. Once it is clear, what do we do now? If you, this is okay, let's say you have multiple things, how are you going to do? Then what you can do, simply instead of let's say if you have shared there's so many things, right? What do you want? Maybe you, if you're not sure what, if you're not sure what to use, what you do basically, copy the this one, basically your resource type, copy here from Azure RM till resource group name. This is a resource type. Copy here. In my case, I just copy here in group. As soon as I click, it will take me same documents which we refer initially. If you see here, but we are now talking about the resource group now, right? This is a resource type. So what I'll do now, if you see here argument, now we understood now. In argument, if you see under argument, the following arguments are supported. Meaning, if you see the name and the, sorry, location and the names are required. Rest if you see optional, tag also optional, depends on you. If you want optional also, you can use it. Let's say if you want to use the based on the complexity of your things, you can use it. Okay, but in my case, this is just a simple resource group I want to make it. So I'll just, so what is required now, location and the name, only these two. So what I'll do, I can use this one. What I'll do, I just type name, I have done, location, just type control space also, you can see so many options. But otherwise what I can do, you can simply type L with the first letter of your this thing. It automatically get a suggestion. Type here location, name of the location. Again, this is a string, right? So we use the quotation again. So we will use the based on the location. In my case, the east US. This is west, this is east, let's say. Okay, now we are good. Now your Terraform configuration is ready. Basically, now you understood how we can write the resource group manually in the sense using the extensions. Okay, this one way. Now we will understand how we can write the storage. I mean, this I can mention as a comments. Um, what it called resource group. Okay, so this basically when as a hash, basically this is the comments. If you want to give any comments, you can use a hash, and I can use another storage account, storage account creation. So let's see how we can use it. So like I mentioned, now the first part we are clear with the creation of your resource group, right? Second part, what we do is the creation of your storage account. How can I do that one? Let me see. Storage, sorry, this is your the block type, right? Block type I have selected. Automatically, that's how the format comes. Click on your double quotations, then type the resource type. In my case, as I already know, that is Azure RM is always must. The provider name should be always in the first place. Then dash, I mean underscore. Okay, underscore I use it. Then I can mention the type of the resource. In my case, storage account. Just mention storage account. You can see so many options. So based on your needs. In my case, it is storage account. As soon as I click, that's how it look. Now you click what name you want. In my case, my storage. This name can be given anything, but depends on the how convenience you want, what name you want. Depends on that. You can change also, do whatever. Okay, storage. Sorry, my bad. Okay, storage 10. My storage 10. Let's say, and this is called as your local name. Okay, and this is called as your storage um, type, and this is your block type. And but if you say this one till here also call as a block level. Together we call this one call a blocks level, and this is a local name. Okay, so okay, now we got this one. Now let's see. Now be after getting this information. Now let's see. I don't know how to. Okay, what kind of information is needed for creating the storage account. So let me go to the documentation directly. Same as your RM storage account. Click there. Again, you will be taken to the documentation of your Terraform. Once you go there, now I have already gone this part, right? So this is the one I have copied already initially. If I go here, argument. No, this is the best way how we can learn. Like otherwise, you can mention controlled and space also. You get so many options. But what happens is that we get confused what kind of uh, information or maybe need to be used, right? So that is why what I basically do is that I come to the documents. I always refer to documentations and then refer it whatever I need based on my requirement. Okay. So in my case, I'm in storage account. I click on your argument reference. I could see this is the information I need for now. These three. That is your location name. I mean name of the storage account, resource group name, and the location. These three I need. Rest all whatever is the optional or optional. Optional means what happens if you don't define it automatically. You need to be you have to know this one. By default, this will be created. So that is why it is always good to go through the documentation and understand and learn, right? So what I'll do in my case, if I want to mention this one, let's say the account kind as file storage. In your case, you need to exclusively mention this one with this value, okay, in your configuration file. If you don't define this one, as you mentioned, like I mentioned here, optional, right? If you don't mention by default, they will take this value. Okay, same thing. There are so many things where you can just refer it. Okay, so you can see optional, optional. So it depends on the your use cases. You can think of using it. Okay. So what I'll do, I click on my argument name. Now in the argument, first thing what I needed these three things name. So what I'll do, I instead of copy instead of here, I what I'll do, I can search from here also. There is so many things. if you're confused, you can just, if you know things, you can search by name. If you don't know, then you can refer the documentations. Okay. In my case, I know it, so I am just selecting as name. What I do, otherwise, if you don't know, you just come and see what is required. In my case, name is required, right? Search, you just search here, name. It will give this thing. This is not value. What name I want? Storage account, right? My storage, DevOps, sorry, my storage, uh, 10,000, sorry, 100. Okay. This is good. Now we are clear with this one. Second, um, now we did resource group name, right? You just mentioned same thing. You can just use the control space but tap on your in your keyboard, and also you can search here. If you know something, you can type the keyword first letter. Okay, in my case, if I know the location, right, L O, automatically you get a suggestions. Yeah, our location. So in my case again, this is string, right? I have to use the quotation mark. Then once I use the quotation, now I can use it what name I want. Sorry, not name, the locations. In my case, I use is to s. Space if you want, you can give it, or you can ignore it if you don't want space. Then what else we need? Because still you got an error if you see here. Record attributes, account tier. There are so many things there. So what you do now? Um, then locations, right? I can say the location. Sorry, I think location I have done. What else? Resource group name, I think mention location name. Okay, let me define a resource group name. What I do, I first mention here resource group name. Okay, though what you do here, resource group name, you can manually mention whatever resource group name also I want. But this is not how it will work. It will be used. It will be difficult to manage. So what I can use instead of this one, I can directly use using Azure RM. Okay, if you see here, Azure RM basic, I'm referring this name. Azure RM here, right? Resource group dot my RG is your local name. So because I want to create use this resource group, right? So that is why I'm getting this one. And then at the last dot name, because this is a resource group name. Now we are good now. Okay. If you're good with this one, now then kind, right? I will use this also. So there's a kind. Then tier. Standard tier also, I think they need to update what you can say. Account tier in my case, just type account tiers. And in account tiers, if you can see here documentations, if you want to use, see this is also mentioned as a record, right? This is why you have to check. So what I can do here is that I can select by default it. You can see the record. What I'll do is I'll select one of them. So I'll just go with the standard. This person I think selected, yeah, this is also standard. I'll also select standard. Okay. Okay. Now like that, you can select whatever you want. Replication. This also requires here. This also require version again. So now I need to select this also. What is that? Account replication type. Account replication type. In my case, it is. So whatever you like, you can select. In my case, I'll just keep it as LRS. Okay. So once you create same thing basic, that's how we can define. So in whenever you create this thing, right, you just define what you need based on the your use cases, right? So what I'll do is, okay, now we understood how we can use this trace account, right? So like there, you can define. So whatever required option is there or optional based on your use case, you can define. So I hope this is clear, team. What I can do now, I will remove this one because I have all the code already. I'm just trying to show you how we can use it. Okay, you can have a tag also if you want. So in my case, I will not create any nothing. I just remove everything. So initially, what I recommend is that you create using documentations. refer the documentations and try to do explore it basically. Okay, so what you do now, you have the Terraform configuration now. So you need this resource group name, that is your DevOps RG10, and this is the storage account local name, and actual name will be this one, Pulse storage. That's it, 10,000. Sorry, 1,000. I mean 100. I'll give. Okay, I can have this one. Now, if I want to create this one, what I do is now I can directly. Now, what I have is, let me I think go back to the documentation. Um, Configurations, right? This one we have done. Now we need to do authentication. Let me see. This can be done after Terraform initialization also, but what I'll do now, I will first log in. Once I log in, first once you go with the resource group data and this one data, what you do, save this configuration first. Terraform configuration. Once it is saved, come here, terminal, run terminal. I mean new this thing. As soon as you click, you just type C bus. Where are you sitting here? Right now, I'm in the inside this one, right? If you see, this is the directory I have, current directory. Okay, so I can see two main.tf and the provider.tf. If you see two, I have it. So what I'll do now, I'll first log in using what is the commands. Let me see. Okay, using as a login. So let me check as a login. In my case, I have already logged in, but in your case, you can also, if you don't log in for the first time, you will be asked the login credential. So in my case, I will log in with this one. This is my username. This is the cloud. Now, if you see here, this is a thing. For now, you have logged into. Okay, you have logged into Microsoft Azure. So I have done. Okay, so I can close this for now. Now, what I can do is now, as soon as I click here, I can see basically the subscription details. So you get a message also. It is successfully done. So what you do, I'm just trying to give you another thing where you need to keep in mind. Um, yes, I think this is the source. Okay, let me log in. Okay, I have logged in directly. Okay, now I just wanted to show you something that is your subscription. Let's say in my case, I have two subscription. One is a dev test. This is a subscription ID, and second production. This is the ID. Okay, I have two different ID. What I can do, same thing. What you see here, basically. In your case, if you have only one subscription, that is only one. But in my case, I have two subscription, so I get to see both. If you just see here, dev test, right? This is by default is true, is default true. That means by default the dev test is your default one. Okay, that means whenever you create resources in Terraform, using Terraform, I mean, this resource group, sorry, this subscription will be used. And let's say I have another resource subscription, that is the here production. And if you see here is default false, that means this is not the default one. But in your case, if you want to use this one as default, there is an option called as the ID, right? Same thing, what you see the subscription to production. If you see the ID, this is right, you can see the C2. C2 is nothing but this is the same thing, C2. I can copy this one or I can copy from here, whichever comfortable. In my case, I'll copy from here. Let me copy. Okay, what I do, I can type. I think I have mentioned documentations as well. Yeah, to set specific subscription, let's say if you have multiple subscription, if you want to use particular subscriptions, you can use this commands. As a account set space again double s then subscription then ID. So what I'll do, I have copied this subscription. I'll copy from here also so that it'll be easy for you to understand. I think I have already copied, but yeah, let me copy only. I have copied. What I do here, I will load it as a account First, I can check also if I see also, so also I can see. This will not show me what is my current this if I use these commands as a account show, this will only show me what is configured currently. That is, as I mentioned, this is the default one, true. Is default true. That means this particular dep test, this one dep test is a default. Now, if I want to change this one, I have already copied the second subscription ID. Let me set that one using um, Azure account. Or if you want to see, this is if you want to see only specific which is currently configured. Okay, but if you want to see how many subscriptions are available in my accounts, what I can stop show is ls. Sorry, not ls. It is a list. Okay, you get to see all the subscription whatever you have in your account. Okay, I have two, so I could see all two. So in your case, if you want to set one of the subscription, in my case this one, professional, what I do as a account set, very simple command. Okay, as a account set, the older subscription I mentioned, subscription. Then I have copied the already subscription ID. I just paste it. Okay, I think I not got copied properly. So I will copy the production. Yeah, I'll copy this one. Production, if you see, this is as no false, right? Production is a false. So I'll copy this ID now. On a copy, let me go down. Okay, same thing, copy, enter. Now, this particular subscription ID got set. That means whenever I create any resources, all resources will be created within this subscription. That is this one, production. How can I check that one? I can again go back. This command I can say show. If I give a show, you can see here is default true. What is the subscription name? This is a production. So now you're good. Now you understood how we can set as default subscription if you have multiple. But in your case, if you have only one, you don't have to do that. Okay. But if you have two or more than one, basically, you need to have, you need to check this way using show commands or ls command. I mean, a list. Okay. So now you're good. How to set? You're clear now. Then we have it. Okay. Okay. Here, authentication also done. Now this also we have done. Network configuration, if you want, you can do it. That is your in your basically the storage configuration. You can have it. But in my case, I don't want to do anything, so we can ignore this one. What I'll do now, I have already logged in. Now, if you see here, I don't have. Okay, in my case, if I see the storage account, resource group, let me show you. I don't have the resource group for now. Okay, let me create now. So now you understood. You have logged in now. I just want to run this one Terraform init commands because I have already logged in, right? So what I'll do is now just check what is there. I'm in the same directory. So what I'll do is I just mention Terraform. First, let me save you maybe. Okay, Terraform init. Now, whenever I run Terraform init for the first time, in the backend, the provider will be downloaded. Okay, and also initialize the plugin if you see here, initializing provider plugins. Okay, then let's say I can show you that as well. Um, okay, right now, as you can see here, the provider plugin that is a provider basically got initialized, sorry, downloaded from registry. Okay, so once you're done, you can also the dependency log file. See, it is successful. So I will not explain much about this one because this was discussed many times. So basically, whenever I run for the first time the Terraform initializations or init commands, the provider will be downloaded. At the same time, the dependency log will be created. What it contains basically, if you see here, the provider information basically, Terraform provider, Let's say this one, right? Let me show you. If you see provided, right, this will be downloaded latest one. Why it took me latest? Because in my configurations, if you remember, in your configuration file here, right, see you have defined um, which is that. Okay, I in my course I use the latest one. That is why. Okay, in your case, what you can just use the greater sample or anything specific. But in my case, I use the latest one. Okay, I hope this is clear now. What you can do otherwise, if you don't want that also, you can change this one, some other version. But in my case, let it be as it is. Okay, so you have the version and the constants, which version you have defined there. And this basically has your, what do you call that, has algorithm where it contains your the logs file, everything. And this is managed basically during your Terraform init commands. Whenever you run for the first time, this log file will be created. That is your dependency log file. Okay, so let's go. So now we are going to understand now. So what we will do, we will go with the as per the process we are following it. Then Terraform, this is done, and plan and apply. So I can run the Terraform plan. What I'll do, Terraform plan. What it'll do basically, whenever I run a Terraform plan, it will try to authenticate first because I have already logged in with the as a login command. So you have already logged in. So they will try to authenticate first now. Once authentication successful, what it'll do is that whatever you have configuration file in your Terraform, basically here, let's say in my case, resource group, and then we have it, storage account details. They will check based on that. They will try to give a blueprint in the sense they will try to um, give a overview like these resources are going to be created like that at the time of Terraform apply. Okay, so just let's see. So I hope this is clear, Tim. Okay, so let's just wait for this Terraform plan to come because it takes time usually because this has to authenticate with your Azure. Okay, so what we'll do now, let's wait. They will first validate with this also, no? Whatever configuration you have in your configuration file, they will validate and give you the blueprint. Yeah, now you can see they have given you the blueprint. It whatever you mention in your configuration file, they have described here. For example, see here, Terraform plan you run it. You what it says though, Terraform will perform the following actions. Example, this is the issues group name, and then storage account name will be created. And this is the information of the storage account. Okay. So if you see here, plan two. Okay, plan two to add. That means two will be added. Zero to change. You don't have to do any changes, and zero to destroy. Plan to add means we are going to add. So what I'll do now, I will use a Terraform apply. If I don't use the Terraform, what do you call apply? Means sorry. If I don't want to, if I see now, I need to. Do you want to perform these actions? Okay. If I don't want to type this manually again, yes or no, then what you can do is simply, in my case, I'll just give it as no. This will ignore now. Okay. What you can do is instead of this one, you can only the yes will be taken. Okay. So in my case, what you do, apply you do, then dash, just want to auto approve. So if I do auto approve, what happens? Auto approve. If I use the auto approve, what it happens is that automatically they will take forward. In the sense, you don't have to give yes or no. Okay. Now, once it is successfully created, um, I am then see now. If you see now, they have given in the plan whatever two resources going to be added or created. Now, if you see here, resources being created now. Okay. resources being created now. What we can do is that meanwhile, uh, we can also check the till, if you remember, till then we only had this one, right? Now, once the resource being created, basically you will have another. These two we had before, right? You will have the this also. That is your terraform.tf state. So I think it is successfully created. Yeah, it's got created successfully. Resource group, resource group, and the storage account got created successfully. So you can see the apply complete, two added, zero change, zero destroy. So we are good now. So our resources are created now. So we can go and check in your cloud provider. I mean Azure portal. Okay. So let me refresh. So now you can see the resource group name as DevOps RG10. Let me see what name we given in our configurations, right? So this is the name if you see here. But this name was, like I mentioned, this is just a local reference name. Whatever name you give here, you it will be created. But normally in your project or in any of the company, they don't mention the value here. What they do is they define a variable file. In variable file, they mention all the whatever information you require. So that also we are going to learn that. Okay. For now, understand this much. So, okay, fine. Now, as soon as you the successful got created, as let me go and show you. This is the resource group. You can see which subscription this is in production. Okay, and this is the storage account and Paul storage 100. Let me check. Paul storage 100. Okay, see again they didn't take this one, but you calling by this name, but uh, the actual name will be this one. So normally this also you will not give your this will be using some kind of variable files, and also depends on the naming standard. You can have a multiple variable files, and you can call by the variable name, like based on the department or based on the applications. Basically, it is again depends on how you want this name should be. Okay, so I will explain later. For now, you just understand we have successfully created the storage account along with the resource group. So now whatever information you given, you can just verify. My RG, sorry, not my RG, it is a arts, okay, this one, GRS, okay, GRS, you can just see here, we have defined, and that this is a standard. So basically, whatever information you have given, so you can see, whatever information you given in your configuration file has based on that, they have created the resources. This is one of the way we created. Now, if you see what tag we given a tag as 2, right? If you see here, two tags I have given, that is your environment and the owner. Same thing if I go here in the tag, see environment and this one. Now, bar if you have here, let's say if you have more than 20 plus or 100 plus, not normally 100, at least 20, more than 20 plus tags will be used in the company in any of the projects. Okay. So what you can do is, let's say if you have more than 30 or 40 or 50 tags if you have, if you had to define here, what will happen is it will be very difficult to manage, and also it is not your code will not be basically the concise. It will not be a efficient way of managing it. So what we can do is same thing for tag also. I can have a variable. So in variable you can have all your number of tags, whatever name you want in a variable, and you can call with the variable name. So let's see. We will learn this also. What we will do. I will now be understood how we can use. So now what I'll do, I will create a one variable file so that I can, whatever value I have here, I can use that variable. So I will use variable dot tf. It should be always dot tf extension. Okay. If I create this one tf extensions, first what variable I want for. So let me see. First I want about the resource group name. I don't want to give the resource group name this way, right? So what I can do is I want to I want to basically get it from the variable, or I can have multiple variable also. In my case, just simple variable I'll give. So I'll mention variable, then in my case as a resource group. Then I can give as a, if you want to give a description, you can give description, but in my case, default resource group. That will help you understand basically. Okay, resource group name, anything you can mention, whatever you like. Then then it's a type. Type basically when I mention this one, I mention it is a string, right? I just strings. And what should be the value? So I'll give a default. What is the default value? So whatever name you give here, in my case, resource group name I want to give. If I see here resource group, that is my this one. But let's say I want to give some other name. Okay. So what I'll do, I'll change here. I'll mention, let's say, mm, I just mentioned DevOps Pulse, uh, 5,000, sorry, 5,000, okay? Sorry, 5,000, okay? And this is the actual value for this thing. Now, this is one way we can define. We can have in many ways, but this is one of the reason which I want to explain because it's a simple one. So I will use this one now in your, I can call by this name now. How can I call? Using the variable functions. How I can do that? I first copy the name of the this thing variable. In my case, let me. I have to remove this first. Okay, what I'll do var. Whenever you want to call with the variable name, you just mention first this one. And in my case, you see automatically they will suggest you because you have this configuration in your variable file. So if you see here variable, then resource type. Okay. So this one I have mentioned here. Sorry, where is that? Here. Then dot you give name. Okay. Now we have understood this one. Now second, same thing for the storage account name. Same thing like what I can do. I can create another this one. Storage account. This is just a comments. Okay. So what I do, I just mention variable Azure storage account. Okay. So if you remember last time I had discussed about the block type. In variable, this is why we call as the only there is only one block level. Okay, but when it comes to the resource or any other this thing, it will have a two block level. Like if you remember here, this is a block type. This is your block level. This is also another block level. So depends on the resource, the objects or the resource type, the block level will be changed. So it will be one or two. So especially if I talk about the variable, always you will get only one what do you call block level. Okay, in my case, this is a block level. Okay, now we understood this one. I can mention description if you want. You can just mention storage account name or whatever name you want. Okay, my case, I just give it a type. It should be something string. Then what is the value I want? Default value I want as something. So let's say DevOps Pulse storage account, whatever name you want. In my case, 2024. Let's say okay. This is storage account I want. So if I want to call this name in your configuration file, basically in your main .tf file, how I can call that one? Same thing. Call with the variable with this resource type. What you define in your here. Okay. So what I'll do? Here you can see here, right? Dot name. Then, okay, now we understood. Same thing I want to use for the tag. Let's say, like I mentioned, if you have 100 tags or maybe more than 50 tags, you can have your main configuration file so many tags, right? This will spoil basically your configuration. This will not look good also. And that is not how the company will manage it. So what they can do is that instead of having here, you can what you can do is you can have a variable. Instead of, let's say if you have a 100 update tags, let's say right now you can see only two. Let's say if you have 100 tags, how are you going to manage, right? So we can use a variable for that also. Let me show you. But variable type it should be as map of string. Sorry, not here. Let me come. What is that? I'll just mention. Any name you, whatever name you want, mention. For I can mention the if you have common text, let's say see common text. Okay, if you have multiple text, let's say just type variable, just mention text. Then you mention what name you want. Description also again depends if you want, you can, or in my case, I'll just give it just for better understanding. Okay, default common text. Okay, what is the type? I should be. So whenever select type here, no, I need to because like I mentioned, I have multiple tags now. What I can have the string. Okay, I can use the string. So what I have to use, I have to map of string. Type map of string. You see map of string. String with type. Okay, map of string. Once you type map of string, what you can show, what is next default value, right? Type the map of string default. I mean, sorry. Now you see. As soon as I type here, I get to. As soon as I type here, right? Map of string default value. We're asking what is the key and value. So in my case, what I can do is I can have multiple tags. So in my case, I'll just copy this also. Environment. This is the value. So as much tag as you want, you can define basically in simple. Because same thing for the second one. Owner 3M. Whenever I give, this is a good thing. I need to give this one. Okay, my case, what I'll do. Okay, I will keep this also. If you want, you can ignore this. What do you call that? Quotation in your key. Okay. So now we have understood. Let me also add some more so that for better understanding. Let's say department DP department. This space, what you said as equal to can be anywhere. You don't have to be in the same place. It can be have anything like that also okay. But you should give a space always between your key and value. Okay. So I'll keep just keep it as it is. So I don't want to give much space. I just keep it as it is. Colon. Then I'll mention as department IT manager project. You can mention if you want to give any information. Let's say department we have given. Then application type. You can mention application is equal to test. Let's in my case. Okay. So it's like you can have multi n number of tags. If you have 50x, you will not define all tags in your here. Here you will not define here. Okay. You will define in your variable files. So now you understood, right? So okay, now we understood. Now what we can do is applications. Then I mention application. I just given is equal to I mentioned that for testing. Okay. Now, okay, let's say I have four text now. Okay. So I can have a 10 or 100 of text, depends on your use case. You can try that. For now, I have only this much, four. What I can do is, how can I call with this name now in your tag, in your main file right here. So what I'll do, I'm just going to remove this one. So you just see the format first. Normally, this how the format works when you define in your default. But if you want to use the variable file from variable file, you can simply what you do, tag you put, just showing you once. See tags, right? Just click here. See, that's how it works. What you do? Just mention bed dot. What is the name of the tags you mentioned? If you remember here, variable tags. I just mentioned a text, right? Okay. Whatever name you want, you can type it. Basically, in my case, I'm just giving it normal. Uh, Let me show you. I mean, text. That's the name we given. Or you can change anything. The whatever name you can see here, no, that you can change it anyway. So this is this naming what standard, whatever we had, no, this can be changed. Whatever name you want, variable, you can define that one. In my case, I given as a name the variable as text. Okay, now let me see now. I have defined. So whatever I have in the main, I have defined this name. Okay. Now this one, whatever value I have, I can just save this one. All right. So I have successfully saved this one. Let me 1 second save it just to be sure. So right now, if you see, I have given a variable for the storage account, and we have given for your text and then resource group name. So this resource group need to be created, right? And this storage account name. So let's just go back to the here. Okay, now we are understood how we can use, right? Let me just save this one. I think this was already saved. Anyway, let me run. I just try to apply 1 second. Resource group. What it says basically main.tf. One minute somewhere I did. Okay, this one I don't know where I given. You don't have to give only the name. This basically this name you don't have to give same name. You can give just for understanding I given. You can give any name, whatever name you want. Okay, this name. Variable name can be anything. In my case, I have given this one. So you can change for any name, whatever your name you want. In my case, I given same format for better understanding. But in your case, you can give just resource group or anything like that, or common resource group, whatever name you want. But you have to call with a variable name, whatever name you define here, same name you have to call it. But in my case, just for our better understanding, I given same format. You can change anything, whatever name, but you need to call when you need to define while calling. Okay. So in my case, what I do, um, yes. Now I given the resource group variable tag I have defined. Okay, for now tag also I define, and then I given the location of the resource group, right? Then I also give storage account name. I don't have to give this storage account name. Let me save it. So if you remember here, before we have only these two. Let's see. See, once as soon as you 1 second apply this thing, they will do Terraform refresh. Okay. what it will do? Storage account cancel lowercase. Oh, I think I given capital letter or anything. That was false. Must be three. Okay, it's too long. The name actually, if you see, one thing what we have to keep in mind here, it is showing here this particular what you given the variable for your storage account. No? It shows that this particular storage account can only consist of lower letter and a number. Okay, it can have a number. And I have these two, all lower letter, and this I can also see the what you call that number of letters, right? I mean numbers. But it asking must be between 3 to 24 characters so long. So maybe in my case, I don't know this thing they have some limitations. My I need to reduce this size. What I'll do storage. This okay. I'll just keep this one. There was full storage 24. Let me just save once again. Try to run. So this is one of the way we can learn that. So when you do hands-on, you will learn that as well. Let's wait. So maybe see right now. You can see right now. So they have refreshed Terraform, refreshed it. Now whatever issue is going to be created, all the you can see. Okay, destroying. They are trying to destroy the old one because I have changed the name here, right? This was the old new one. The before name was something else, right? If you remember here, I given some other name than before. So if you see that meaning, whatever you have in the same configuration, whatever you have resource group, sorry, not resource group. Yeah, this whatever name you given the storage account name as well as the resource group will be destroyed if you have updated the latest one. Okay, so they are if you see here now destruction you can see still destroying. Okay, they are trying to destroy first. Let's wait for 1 minute. We will then what it will do once it is done they are going to create freshly with whatever name you given. Okay, same thing this all whatever value whatever the value you can see no this can be a store some in variable so and it can be in many reason I mean ways we can handle this one, right? So depends on the use cases you need to use the variable. So okay, now it is destroy the old one, now it is going to create the new one that is the storage account. So let's wait for that. So now I think you're now you're clear how we can define the variable, why it is also important, right? So instead of having basically all your configurations in your main configuration, main Terraform file, you can store your or do modification in your variable file. Basically, you need to just update the variable. What do you call in your variable? You need to define in your variable and change based on whatever changes you needed. So in my case, I have just modified some tag and then resource group and then storage account name, right? But depends on the use cases. Again, you can define in your. So now it has been successfully done, applied. So now what I can do is I can go back, refresh it. See now whatever name I given in my variable file. Let me show you. In my variable file, this is the resource group name, right? Default, default 500, right? Let me just copy. You can see here. This is the name I have given in my variable file. This is the default. So storage account name also, if you remember, I have changed it before some other name. Same thing in my variable file, I give a storage account name as this one. That is your DevOps file storage 24, 2024, I mean here. Then if you see the configuration, everything, it didn't mention anything. So directly the configuration details and all took from whatever you have defined here. Let's say standard or anything. Here, standard, GRS, everything. Even if you see the tag, let me go to the tag. Now you see the I can have multiple tag now. First application, department, then environment and owner. You can see because this value now see now the Terraform code looks so simple, right? It looks so concise. And if you had to mention the many codes, normally you will have what you call that variable file. You will not define everything in your main configuration file. Okay, just to keep you in mind. Then so in my case, so many tags I have it. Whatever tag I define in my variable file, I can use here. I can see here. So we have done as expected. Okay. So if you want to destroy, like I mentioned in the documentations, where you can also destroy this one using Terraform destroy. Let me check. I can use same commands apply, or I can just remove this also. If you want, you can remove, or you can, if you don't remove also, it still works. Like you can have like this example. This is actual commands, but if you want to remove, you can mention. You can have like this also. This also still works. This will destroy still, but you need to give a dash here. So in my case, if you don't want, you just put a destroy. Terraform destroy. So okay. So whenever you want to destroy, basically with the apply commands also, you just need to give a dash. If you don't give a dash, then the command will not work. But if you want to, let's say, remove the apply in bit before the main before the destroy commands, then in this case, meaning if I think yeah, it's just got it's going to be destroyed now. Okay. So I think let's see. Let's wait for this. Okay, it is being destroyed now. Okay. So depends on the use cases. You can use the variable file. Anyway, I'm going to explain everything in details. But for now, whatever you understood, that should be fine because everything you just go with the flow. Let's say you need to have the subscription details, then this need to be in place first. So what I'll do is the code, this one, what we have here, all I will give it to you on in the with video. Okay. So what we can also know is that. Um, Whenever I put destroy commands in the backend, this was here. What happens now? The Terraform state file will be taken as a backup. If you can see here. So whatever the information you have as a metadata of your cloud infrastructure, it will be taken as a backup here now. Meaning, whatever I have the code, basically let's say I have the storage account and the resource group, right? This all metadata it will be stored in your state file. But while destroying, what it'll do, if you want to destroy, let's say in my case, we have done destroy command. While destroying, what it'll do is, whatever you have data, this all the information as a metadata is available in your state file, right? Here, state file. What it'll do now, they'll take the backup of this state file first, and here with extension of dot backup. Okay. Now, if you see here, if you see the first one, it will be nothing. You can see I don't have anything null because the actual infrastructure what you have this thing is destroyed, so you don't have anything. So how it backend basically how it works basically whatever you have the let's say while destroying whenever you destroy the code no they will take the state file backup and they will destroy the infrastructure whatever the resources. Once it is been successfully destroyed they will come again update this terraform dot txt they will update it as null because there is nothing to manage it. Okay, that is how the flow of Terraform works. Okay, I think successfully, yes. So all right, team. So finally, we have completed our the first demo, that is your creating storage account from scratch. So I hope this video is helpful. And in case if you have any questions or any related to any kind of issue or anything, please feel free to leave your comments. Right? I will reach out to you maybe on our comments or mail or anything. Right? So for now, I think we can wind up these sessions and see you in next sessions. Till then, take care. Have a nice day.